The ancestors are speaking.
The ancestors are speaking.
So be tapped in, tuned in,
and turned on to your manifestation.
Turned on to your manifestation.
and turned on in your manifestation. Your manifestation.
Peace, love, and light. It's your Galactical Goddess, Kösmïc Khamïllïon, and welcome to today's show, I Am Goddess. Today we're basically going to be sharing a little bit about how we came to declare ourselves as goddesses and sharing a little bit with you about our individual journeys. So I'm going to throw it to Ayanza because I've been knowing her for quite some time and I've seen her in so many different realms, and I'm so glad we got a chance to meet back up, I would say within the last year. But we've been knowing each other for over a decade because we went to the same alma mater. Is that how you pronounce that? I just went there. Who let me graduate?
That lets you
Who
out.
let me out of there? I paid for it. Anyway, so I'm going to go on ahead and throw it to Ayanza because she has really been schooling me since I met her. Straight up. So what you got? So share with us a little bit.
Well, first I want to say thank you.
Oh,
You know, for
It's
making
true.
that phone call.
It's
'Cause,
true.
you know, you in certain realms, hermit life is real.
I swear.
Okay,
Your life
let's
love
go ahead
about
and
it.
make that a hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag hermit life.
Hermit
Even
life.
like with what's going on with the pandemic and everything, well, I call it the plague because there's nothing new under the sun.
That's if you
You know,
subscribe
I'm
to that
taking it back
reality.
to Moses times. Okay, the plague. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I
People
know
say,
who
well,
called her.
how are you dealing with the quarantine? And I'm like, I've been a hermit 7 years. I'm looking at everybody like, welcome to my world. But how did I come to be a goddess? Oh goodness. Well, first let me define the term goddess.
Yes.
I like to refer to myself as the goddess's lipstick blot. Okay? I love it. Because there's really only one true galactical goddess. And all the rest of us are just her daughters. So, studying a lot of my own cosmology, because all my life I've always had this strange quirk about me. Like my siblings were all right-handed. I was born left-handed. They were all born in Detroit. I was born right here. And so I'm like, why am I so set apart? You know, and then studying my cosmology, come to find out, I was conceived on the Day of the Dead and born August 1st. So I was forged on the day that the ancestor strength on the earth was the thickest.
Can't make it up.
Can't make this up. Can't make this up. So actually, I came into my goddessness through a process of elimination. Because there was a huge stretch in my life where I wanted to be accepted. I just wanted to fit. And I'm just like, why am I so weird? Because I had a lot of I didn't really see that moments. Like, for example, we would vacation at my grandmother's house in Memphis. And the first time it happened, it scared me, but it didn't. I used to see spirits walking around my mother's house, my grandmother's house. But I couldn't say anything because I was a deacon's daughter. Can you imagine? So, spooks, haints, hoodoo, voodoo, all of that word, that was just off limits. And so life led me to a point, fast forward, running into Jasmine at Prairie View. I just used to do little things outside of the normal campus activities. I had this thing where I would take my shoes off and I would walk all the way across campus barefoot.
I love it.
And yes, ancestors.
No idea.
Ancestors. Okay, so after graduation, life took a nosedive for me. A serious whirlwind.
Straight up.
Process of elimination, all the fakeness about life, everything I thought I wanted. Oh, I told God my plans. Oh, I had it all figured out.
Haha.
You know. Oh, God, this is what I want to do, and you gonna bless it, right?
Straight up.
I'm sorry.
And wrong.
End of prayer.
And hello.
So I mean, I chose all the wrong friends, chose the wrong man, chose the wrong everything you could think of. Lord
I did
have
it
mercy.
fast, too.
I was too wild to shoot at. But it came a time where I realized I was rebelling, but I didn't know what I was swinging at. I received the news that my father passed away on my 16th birthday. excuse me, mad was an understatement. Rage was an understatement. And life had just reached a point for me where I just had to say, God, why am I here? Because me and God, I just used to put the Bible down, let me get off my, what's good? Like, because I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying to believe in this faith. Why am I here? And when I asked that question, the life I knew was packed up in plastic bags. I had to start my whole life over again from scratch. I didn't even know who I was anymore. Didn't feel worth anything at all. Quit my job out of nowhere. Had no idea how I was going to take care of my practical things. I get a phone call. This is so-and-so with so-and-so psychic line. Is Ivory available? I'm like, hold on for a second. Are you kidding me right now? Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I've been in a world of solitude and divination. And 3 years later, I got initiated as an Ifa Orisha priestess of Oya by Oloye Hunan Ifakayo de Ogunsina, he's a Babalawo, and Oloye Yeye Nifa de Isi Olaulu Olabisi, she's out of Ohio. And they are students of the late great ancestor Oluwo Dr. Afolabi Ipega. And I've never felt so natural. And it's like after I got the divine purpose, everything I had been picking at had either fell away or amplified. The poetry got stronger, the writings, everything is geared towards spirit. So that's how I came to be. So long story short, I ignored the call until I couldn't ignore the call no more. Thank you.
What a journey, Goddess. What a journey.
Yes.
And it was all for a reason.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yes.
beautiful.
And along the way at Alma Mater Prairie View, I met Jasmine.
Yeah.
And it was like we had this interesting connect. We should have hung.
Yeah.
I
We
Hold
didn't
on.
hang.
So y'all tell me y'all didn't even hang
We
out?
didn't hang.
Y'all
I think we both were weird
being
though. Like,
weird for no reason.
I
and
think
y'all
at
didn't
that
even...
point I was trying to fit in too. So 2 people trying to fit in. This feels normal. When we have our conversations behind the scenes, it's like, oh,
It sounded
you know.
like we rounding out a good definition for this woman that's
Straight up.
mad dope that just don't fit in, but realizes that it's okay to not fit in.
Well, we didn't know at the time that we weren't supposed to be following the path because we were supposed to be blazing with it.
Exactly.
Right?
Unapologetic.
Tell that.
Like, no, we're like not apologizing.
And when you talk about your cosmology, I mean, your girls are scientists, right?
She
Forged
got some
in
gifts.
fire.
She got some gifts too.
Forged in fire. I mean, fire, sun, fire, moon. So don't tell me no.
Spicy.
Anywho.
Time to go.
Blazing the path. When I was a little girl and I told these people I want to grow up and be a doctor, not ones that look like us, right? But then when I fall into hood shamanism, like all the stuff
Surprise.
you ain't supposed to be doing,
Surprise.
baby, show me.
What happens if I strike this match?
I'm
Right.
And 3 more come.
Right.
Matches right behind it.
Yes, we love to set things on fire.
For sure.
Well, I'm not gonna pour out all of my beans by myself and rinse out the can. How did the rest of you
It
all?
sounds like a goddess is a bad mofo in female form.
Surprise. Surprise.
Definitely.
Hey,
I mean,
took a lot of.
Peace, love, and light. It is your Galactical Goddess, Kösmïc Khamïllïon, and today's topic for discussion is I am Goddess. We'll be sharing a little bit with you today about what makes us goddesses. What makes me a goddess is my children. They have helped me remember who I am. A lot of times people say that they came here and birthed their children. I like to think that my children came back here to birth me. When I had my children, I came into a divine awakening of realizing that we hold these magnificent powers, and as we get older into this adulting thing, we forget these powers, but the children come back to remind us that we need to nurture our inner child. We need to remember that we never technically really grow up, and this whole adulting thing is made up. And so coming into my goddessness, my children have taught me to balance my divine grandmother, mother, and divine daughter energy. You know, of course in the masculine spirits too, but that we're gonna come back to that. But they helped me go back to remember what it was like to be a child again. They remind me every day to make sure you play. And so they came here to teach me, like, not to take this place so serious, and remember that fear is the mind killer. Like, it came here to destroy dreams, and it's a facade. So, and they're fearless. And so, yeah, what makes me a goddess? Yeah, is that I embrace it unapologetically. That I'm awesome. I have these unique powers. We came here with these unique powers, unlike anyone else. And just like our fingerprints are different and unique, each person individually have these unique qualities that we must embrace. We actually came to this planet to embrace these powers. So tap into your unique goddess, God gifts, and you'll be on your way to what you came here to do. It's time for, for us to tap into our purpose. That's a whole nother episode. So we'll keep it at that. Peace on purpose.
Hello everyone, this is Nicholl and welcome to the Creative Palette. Today I'm going to be talking about being a goddess and what being a goddess means to me. One of the most important things that I like to do is taking care of my body. I always try to drink my nutrients. Two things that I always put in my juice or water at home is ginger, and I also blend it with a little bit of turmeric and make a shot. The nutritional facts of ginger is 1.7 grams of carbohydrates, 12 grams of fiber, 11 grams of protein, and 1 gram of sugar. Ginger is great to reduce nausea. It is also good to be consumed raw. You can make tea with it, and it's also used in cooking and baking. Okay, I just wanted to show you, this is the ginger that I use to create the ginger and turmeric shot. And as I said, I add this to the beverages that I drink at home. You could also add it to your water. So this is how it goes. Have my little trusty portable water bottle here, and you just pour it in. You can see it settles a little bit, and you just put this back on, give it a little shake, and it's not the best taste in the world, but it is the best thing that you can put in your body. I would just also add that a goddess is somebody who is, you have to be brave. It takes a level of bravery and courage, to really go against the norm, yeah, I think, like you say, you get the tire marks on your back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a term that I use a lot. Definitely, but I always tell people, you're gonna have pain somewhere.
Yes.
You sometimes pain that you want.
I like that.
So you could pick the pain of trying to fit in because it's gonna hurt.
Oh yes.
Or you can also choose the pain of being truly who you are, and the worst pain that you're gonna face with that is skepticism and, as you said, solitude.
Oh yes.
And I just think that there's a bravery in that, a form of courage that it comes from inside. You don't have to try or declare, I am brave, but it's in your actions and the way how you interact with people, and it's not something negative.
Yes.
You can turn it into what you want.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's an example from your life of how that applied?
I definitely was always weird.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was
weirdos.
definitely on weirdo
Like,
crew.
but I tried so hard to be hard. Going to admit this here. The person that I am is not how I was raised. I was raised in the ghetto of Barbados. Like selling
The
drugs,
trenches.
prostitutes, gunshots every
Straight
day.
up.
People that, and most people are like,
You're so well put
Exactly.
together. You're so-
for when necessary.
Oh,
It's
you mean
not-
the hood come out?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I ain't never seen that.
You see, that's
So-
a part of the goddess aspect.
Exactly.
True.
So what I have
Mercy
had
and
to
wrath.
learn about
Facts.
becoming a goddess is that you have to, and we've talked about this before with Jasmine, like they're all different parts of you, and you have to learn all of them, and that is what makes you who
That
you
art
are.
of reflection.
Don't ever think that because you know somebody that you know all of them.
Thanks.
Say
Exactly.
that.
Church.
Do
We all
not,
have.
do not ever
Church.
think that.
I swear.
There are parts of me that I don't like,
Hello?
but I love because it's me. You know,
It's a
there are things
reflection,
that I
for
do
sure.
that I'm not necessarily,
It's
so
a journey.
yeah, when somebody tells you something, I always say, let me talk to them about it. I never say, they wouldn't do that.
Right.
You don't know all of them.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
There's a song from Imagine Dragons that says, don't look too close, it's dark inside, that's where my demons hide.
Oh yeah.
So he's basically saying, I know I have problems.
True.
I'm fine with them.
Exactly.
I'm just
You might not like what they
you
look
just
like.
might not like, so
That part.
I think that a part of it is just being, and it's a daily thing. It's
Fast.
not, I just woke up one day, oh, I'm a goddess.
Yes.
No, it's a daily,
Yes.
not a struggle or a fight. I'm not going to use that word. It's a daily renewal of acceptance every day.
I
Yes.
like
Those
that.
words.
Like
Love
the
that.
scriptures say, his mercies are new every day. You have to give yourself that same mercy every day.
Absolutely.
Facts.
And
Absolutely.
remembering that when you teleported here, you forgot a few things
Yeah.
when you arrived.
Exactly.
And picking them things back up from the
imperative.
stars is
Exactly.
absolutely imperative. There's a couple superpowers that I'm reestablishing. But
For sure.
yes,
And you forget that because of what somebody told you who you are.
Oh yes.
True.
And
Oh,
that's
yes.
the reason why you forget it. Because somebody said, this is who you are,
you're
this is
supposed
what
to
you
be.
should do.
And I had
This is-
such a serious
Yeah.
battle with that because nobody had me figured out. It was like, no, you're
do
this.
you still have
No,
you
you're
figured?
this.
Do you have you figured out?
Of course not. But
Hey,
I'm enjoying the Rubik's Cube.
Hello? We all
Well,
are.
well,
But see, the
many
thing
sides.
is, the thing is, there are two different kinds of goddess. There's a God is, and then there's the Jezebel goddess.
Ooh.
There's a lot going on
You
out
see
here.
what I'm saying? So
My God.
I always
Clarity.
did a very
Clear.
Too cute for sugar.
See, you made a very valid point.
They got a
You
little warmer
said
than
the
you.
rest, Sorry about that.
Girl,
You
they-
start telling the truth, baby. It can warm up a
Well,
little bit.
yes, because when you mention the wrath, and everybody has that something in them that's capable of anything.
Facts.
All of us got that in us.
She surprised
You
me.
know?
I didn't even know. I was like, where did you come from?
Yes.
I had to pour
But
water on
see,
mine.
but see, the thing is you have to make peace with that side because that wrath side has a divine purpose.
Make peace with
But
the
see, when
beast.
you live in a society of false politeness, especially with the journey of our people.
Hello?
Oh no, that's not nice.
What?
What?
Lest you be called the angry
Cro-
black
cro-
woman.
You know,
So be it.
but check this out though. But check this out though. The animal goddesses got more sense than some of us do.
That's
Go
right.
in that bear cave and mess with them
I
and
dare
the
you
cubs
shall.
and see if that bear gonna be nice to you.
Intuition.
I dare you shall.
She's
But
still
see,
connected.
that's the
She's still
aspect of the
connected.
goddess that is wrath. We have that divine side and we have that wrath. And those of us who are the divine goddesses and not the Jezebel goddesses, we understand that wrathful side has its purpose. And the purpose that it serves is to protect the part of you that gave too much.
Thanks.
Speaking of
Ooh,
giving,
I just
y'all
thought
see
about
what
that
I'm saying?
today.
I
Yes.
want to give some time so we go pay some of these bills right quick.
Yeah.
Hello?
Because,
Hello?
because see, think about it. With so many of our sisters out there and the whole angry black woman narrative. Okay, first of all, black women, we carry the rage of our ancestors unknowingly. Let's start there.
Is this thing on?
Hey, Richard.
You know,
Get your notes out, y'all.
mic check
It's gonna
1,
get
2.
good. Come
So
on
let's
now.
start
Come on
there.
now. Let's do it. Let's do
And
it.
then 2, we are reincarnating ancestral DNA. So we ain't gonna come back and put up with the same things that we put up with last
What they
lifetime.
should have told you in school.
You know, while they was
What's
teaching
that
you
old
jump
trigger?
rope or kickball or something, they should have gave
That's
people
great
some
grandmama
real
trigger,
knowledge.
don't you dare.
And another important question is, why are those feelings so intrinsic to us? Does that make sense? Why? Because it had to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You see
It's
what
my
I'm saying?
pattern.
It's not just you just woke up and this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely a natural psyche to
Exactly.
be able to recognize a pattern and react accordingly. I mean, it's insanity, right? If you continue doing the same thing and expect a different result.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we would have to learn how to do better.
And when you just said, why is this there? That's a question that answers itself over and over and over. The most important part is not only recognizing it, but being able to channel it. You see what I'm saying? Because when we study, when we look at how the ultimate goddess works, she sends cool breezes, and when she gets tired of it, she sends a tornado.
I swear to God.
She'll send a cool rain, and perhaps, a tsunami the next day. And all of us have that element of the divine God that is us. So we're all pieces of the goddess, if you will.
That's beautiful.
Ashe.
Yes, I should. So,
Karen,
guys,
you want to share?
I have nothing to share. I
want to hear your story.
You want to
I'm
hear
about to
my
hide behind you
story?
in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
take us
So, Karamoko, I grew up in the Midwest, and where I'm from is similar to Miss Nicholl. We had some situations. I ain't gonna get into it. I plead the fifth.
Hello?
However,
Yeah.
I always was that girl that really just doesn't look like what's inside. So you see this shell on the outside and there's a genius on the inside. When I say genes, I tap into the ancestors and get the answers.
I love
And
it.
so when I jump into talking about mitochondrial DNA and they look at me sideways, it was always like, oh, should I not speak that way? And so honestly, my journey was a little rough. I had my first son in high school, but that didn't stop me from being senior class vice president and involved in every single thing. I started off trying to go to college, and people around me didn't look like me, so I didn't fit in, and I didn't fare too well. There was always this cognitive dissonance that what I knew to be true didn't match up what was going on in the classroom, or my outside life didn't match up what was going on. I didn't get the luxury of going to a HBCU. So I honestly had to get my life together by coming to stay with my mom in Texas. And when I got here, might I say, when I saw brown people with things like houses and cars, I said, oh, we can have that too.
Surprise.
Yes. So I just started on that path again. What did they say? It took me about 10, 12 years to get a 4-year degree.
Exactly.
But now
no
you
judge.
But you got it.
It's the no
But she
judge
got it.
space.
And now your girl, now I want to say that all of that was wrapped up for me. All of those little pieces of journey, all the detours that I thought were detours were special little presents, little icons and things to pick up on the road to be like, yo, this
Build
gonna polish your little rough edges. Let me get you love, let me give you some self-love over here and some of this over there. And at the end of the day, I sit here before you, fire, but she learned how to pour some water on a couple things. And, really I see this healing of this divine feminine paving the way for the divine masculine to come through and accept these energies and entities and ideas. Man, y'all ready to create a new heaven?
I'm excited.
It was written.
It's done.
I am goddess.
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 Welcome to the Necessary Experience. I am Yoshi. I'm here to talk to you guys today about being fearless and identifying yourself. The first step to identifying yourself is self-reflection. It's very important to identify who you are, what you need, and your purpose. And the only way to do that is to meditate. I do it 10 minutes every day, in the morning, once at night, just to recollect my thoughts from throughout the day. Taking in insight of what I haven't done that I expected to do, what got in my way, and what I need to do to continue to flow. The second key to identifying yourself is doing a self-assessment. What this requires is you to get a piece of paper and a pen and write down everything that you know about yourself. The things that you worry about, the things that you wish to happen in your future, and just pretty much anything that comes to mind. You have to understand your fears, so admit to it. After you figure it out, you admit to it. Second, you have to investigate. Investigate why those things are your fears, why they get in your way. Doing that, that'll get you far. You do that by writing it down. So now I have to cope with it. How do I cope with being frustrated with myself and not realizing that I had fears before? I learned to accept them. I be objective. So I'm objective over everything that I'm observing about myself. Whenever you deny yourself or you disrespect yourself by not doing what you promised, you tend to have regret. And regret brings on fear. And that's what we're trying to eliminate. Learning to embrace the struggle. That is one of the third keys of self-reflecting and identifying yourself. The reason why you have to embrace the struggle is because it's a struggle whenever you let yourself down. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I know me, whenever I let myself down, it takes me a couple days. And that's not okay. And it's not necessary. This is about necessary steps. And so it's necessary to, as soon as you identify that you're not keeping your word with yourself, you go ahead, you write that down, and then you try to figure out why you're not keeping your word to yourself. So let's just take those few steps and at least get that done so we can have the necessary experience of getting everything we desire in life. No pain, no gain. Keep it necessary with the necessary experience. Accepting challenges is very important, but here's the first step to doing that. First, after you analyze that you're afraid of something, you go ahead and you accept that challenge. And by doing so, that allows you to conquer your goals. It's 3 parts. First, you accept the challenge. Then you become aware of what the challenge is. And then you execute. How do you execute? By finding coping mechanisms. You have to cope with regret. The regret from not knowing that you were in your way. You have to cope from being afraid and then realizing that you were really afraid of nothing from the beginning. The third step is becoming fearless. You want to know what that looks like? That's unveiling all of your negative patterns. That's imagining your future. Realize control. Relinquish yourself from any regret. You don't need it. There's no point. It's purposeless. Third, gratitude. That's my favorite topic. If I'm not grateful, then what would be the point of me getting more? Life is full of abundance. Anything that you desire, you can have as long as you don't focus on the things that you regret. Fear, it's not real. Keep it necessary with the necessary experience with Yoshi. Thank you for stopping by, and remember to be grateful.
It's your goddess Karamoko, the honeybee, coming at you with information and libation of gods and goddesses past and present. Now, libation is traditional drink, sometimes water, poured out in honor of the energies that come before you, similar to how you pour out one for the homies. I'm gonna ring my bell. Today what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna link the ancestral energies or Kemetic deities, typically came from our traditional Egyptian system or Kemet. We're gonna start off with Geb. Geb is earth, the layer of foundations. Now these individuals laid the foundation for us to remind us of who we are. So the foundational individuals of this plane are people like Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. We've got people like Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Yosef Ben, individuals like Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, who talked about the African presence in America, as well as they came before Columbus. Now, these ancestors laid the foundation for contemporaries like Anthony Browder and Ashra Kwesi. And let us not forget the goddess, Queen Mother Afua, holistic health practitioner and author of Sacred Woman. Ashe. This is the African Amen, which means so be it. My spirit is in agreement. So next is Nu, the great sky goddess. She is the mother or vault of the heavens, the oldest known deity. I'm gonna link her with individuals that change the vibrations on this plane, like Gil Scott-Heron, Talib Kweli, Common, and Tupac. Or goddesses like Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Shaka Khan, who led the way for goddesses like Janae Aiko, Maya Angelou, fellow Aries, who wrote about the caged bird, yet still I rise. I have individuals like Jimi Hendrix, or even Dr. Delbert Blair, who talked about the celestial origins of our great people, a metaphysical scientist like myself. Ashe.
Welcome to my chamber of divine rhymes. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, your mystic priestess, divinatory, literary, visual, and performing artist. Ashe. I was born a few years, but 1,000,000 miles ago, I goddess. Exposed my poor soul to the globe long before I had flesh or merely even eyelashes, I goddess. Played a little too long in my bathtub, now the ocean waves still crash at every shoreline, I goddess. Cried the tears that floated the motherlands where my ancestors bred warriors centuries before. I was merely an embryo, I scratch my head, I swear I've been here before, I goddess. Had a fever for a while, and the temperature of my sauna dried the sand dunes of the Sahara. That's why it's called a desert, cause I'm so sweet, my name was just mispronounced, I goddess. Denounce negativity and ordain strength for my descendants for the love of upcoming mankind, I goddess. Climbed to the highest point in the world and Z-fied, and my true sister so sweet it long before 1920, I goddess. Was the dean of the class where Queens Cleopatra, Nefertiti, and Lizzie and Mary all listened intently because I was of royal blood, evidently, I goddess. Wrote my life story in the galaxy before there was a Greek or a standard alphabet. You still haven't seen the best of me yet, I goddess. Exfoliated my skin for the purposes of worldwide clay that stacked the baddest cathedrals that still stand to this day, I goddess. Took the arrogant fallen angel's hand. Slow danced with the devil in a burning room and whispered to him his father God was coming back for himself, I goddess. Used the prime meridian as a treadmill to keep this goddess body form burning. To this day the globe's still turning, cause I'm a trendsetter. I'm a wanted and a go-getter. I'm a fool, but I know better. And with danger I flirt, I'm the mysterious fingers up Mona Lisa's skirt, I goddess. Apologize for the thunder, but my stomach rumbled to my hunger for success. I left all these different colored flowers around the world when I was done chopping the cloth for my dress, I goddess. Soaked the earth's soil in my tears and cracked the skies with my laughter, I goddess. Could swear I was supernatural, yet to be seen with earthly eyes. See, physicality is a nuisance at the bottom of my junk mail pile, and this physique is a shell of what lies on the inside, yet every mountain, every valley, every high point and low depth of this earth was made in the likes of my curvaceous frame. I goddess must say I'm flattered. I goddess. received the Egyptian pyramids as jewelry boxes in the shape of my inverted womb, simply because I needed some jewelry boxes for all the diamonds and gold falling out of the locks of my jet black mane. King Tut's tomb is still the main jewel that dangles between these two clay red dirt mountains I call my cleavage. I got it. Made America my toy box where the Statue of Liberty is my favorite paper doll. I goddess. Lie on the dark side of the moon when I want to ease my mind. I smiled a little too big for the universe to see, and to this day the sun's still trying to outdo me. I goddess. And the dictionary connotated definition of extreme, I goddess, was a little ticked off when someone found my doodle pad and thought it was terrific. Now all these pyramids are covered in hieroglyphics. I goddess. Was the fury that stirred the slave ships when the Middle Passage took place. I occupied every time what seemed to feel like empty space. I goddess created love one day. When I was writing poetry with the stars and the sky was my paper. Too bad only Stevie Wonder saw the ribbon. Every rainbow you see is a minor fragment of me on the days I got lazy and forgot to put away my eyeshadow. I goddess. Was the shining star that came through Nelson Mandela's jail cell. I goddess. Visited Malcolm X and Dr. King's dream and told him his name was Shabazz and not Detroit Red. I goddess. I'm woman. I am light. I am strength. I am life. I was the Alpha and the Omega long before numbers were ever created to form a 1, a 9, an 06, or an 11. I goddess. I'm the stairway to heaven. That's why I walk circumspectly like I own the world, 'cause I do. Always have. Always will. But I, the goddess, lives in you. I answer J. Muse. Thank you all for joining us this morning, afternoon, evening, or wherever the clock may have struck when you found our little portal of greatness. This is Goddess Nicholl.
Hi. Go ahead. You can follow me at Caribbean Women's Expo on Instagram.
And this is Goddess Kösmïc Khamïllïon.
You can follow me on Enlightened Souls Now at Instagram as well as Facebook too.
And this is Goddess Karamoko.
They love us, Clover Honey, on IG.
And I am Goddess Ayansa J. Muse. And you can find me on the World Wide Web at www.poeticallymuse.org. The greatest love of all, loving yourself, is the main thing it takes to seek, find, and live the goddess within. Thank you for joining us. The ancestors are speaking. The ancestors are speaking.
So be tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to your manifestation.
Turned on to your manifestation.
And turned on to your manifestation.
Your manifestation.